Hello friends, it's Sherry. How you doing today? Welcome to my channel. I'm so glad you joined me. I want to show you what I'm working on and do a little work on these journals that I have started this week. So I wanted to show you this. I thought this turned out pretty cool. This was some, I think I have some more. Actually, believe it or not, I have it. Maybe you have it in your house too. Notebook paper. But this is from when my kids went to school. Like my youngest son, well, you know, he's been out of school for quite a few years now. And, or at least a few, right? And so, yeah, I looked and I found some notebook paper in a, you know, where I used to keep the notebook paper. I hadn't really gone through that little where I kept it in a while. So I thought, well, let me see, because I know I've coffee dyed it before, and different notebook paper does different things, right? So you just have to try it and see what your notebook paper does. Because I've had it where it's kept the lines and just kind of smeared the blue lines or whatever, and it looked really cool like that. This time on this notebook paper, it just completely, the lines have disappeared. So this is actually notebook paper, you know, with the blue lines and the red, you know, up here and the red line down there. All the lines are gone. So I thought, wow, this looks really cool. Now my regular paper that I dye is copy paper, right? So it's thicker. This is thinner. So it is thinner, but I still think it's really cool, and I would definitely use it in a journal. And I like how it looks and everything. And you know, I love coffee dyed paper anyway. So if you make coffee dyed paper and you have some notebook paper around, you might want to consider using it because it does have the holes here. A lot of times I do like to leave the holes in things. But if I did have to cut this down, I would probably just cut off the hole, this side with the holes in it, and then use the rest. So I think it's really cool, and I can't wait to, I gotta go see, I think I have some more, but I can't wait to use some more. So this morning I came into my craft room, and I straightened up a tiny bit because I was working on those journals. And just one second. Yeah, so as I was saying, I was straighten up here a little bit. I had some Thrifty Thursday things to put away, and I still have some here to put away. But the other night, was it last night? No, the night before, I worked on, you saw my video yesterday, or if you saw my video yesterday, I should say. If you didn't, just look at my video yesterday and I show you, you know, the start of some journals, what I'm going to do for this month of November. And I don't know if they'll take a month or if they'll take 2 weeks or what, but I'm just going to work on them until they're done. And I showed you the smaller cookbooks, and I showed you this size. See how much, let me show you the difference here in the size. So these I was anxious to get started on, and I said yesterday, I said I was going to leave the one with the dessert on it. I think one of these had dessert on the covers, but I didn't. I completely covered it up because, well, it just didn't look as good as the one, because I did the one I knew I wanted to cover up. I think this was the one I did first. I knew I wanted to cover up the cover because it just didn't, I didn't like what was on the front. And I have this really cute, you know, kitchen-y scrapbook paper, and so I did this one, and this one how it turned out. Isn't it cute? These are chef's hats, and it's got this pretty kind of mint green color there in the background. And I used one of the journaling cards for my little front centerpiece here. And then I put another cute piece of that scrapbook paper on the inside. I added 2 pockets, and I glued it together, and then I sewed around too. So that one came out so cute. I was like, oh, well, okay, I have to do the second one. I have to do it. I can't not cover it up. So I used this other scrapbook paper I had. This one has like the appliances and pots and pans and scales and all the kitchen-y stuff on it. So cute. So I had to try that one too. And then I put this little journaling card on the front of this one, and I started on the pages. So I have some pages in here. And then the other ones you already saw, except, let's see, you saw these, and I went ahead, the work I did on these was I went ahead and took them apart. And so they are ready to progress here. See, all the pages are out and the little middle spiral pieces. But I'm using them, like I said, if you didn't see the video yesterday, what I said about these, they had the spine with a spiral I carefully took the spiral out so I didn't damage this spine. And what I'm going to do is now reinforce this and then cover it with a little bit of fabric. So I still don't think I'm going to put fabric on here, but I could change my mind. I don't want to cover up the journaling card, so if I did put fabric, it would have to be a small piece that folded over a little bit here. So I still have that option, but I haven't done it because they look fine the way they are. So unless I feel like I need it, I probably won't put any fabric on these spines. And this did have a little spine, like a little 1/4 of an inch spine. And I was going to try to keep it actually, but when I started working with it, it just wasn't, working out as a spine. It wasn't keeping its spine unless I reinforced it or something. And it was so small, I just decided to fold it in half, like take it. It was still there, all one piece. I didn't separate it, but I just folded it in half so that I, had my little cover that way, and I just went with that. So I was working with, let's see, let me show you an envelope I put in here. Is it in here? Yeah. I put an envelope. Nope, that's not it. Here it is. Nope, that is not it. Where is it? All right, I must have put it over here. Okay, I think this is probably it. Oh yeah, this is it right here. So I have some of these envelopes from the cards I brought home this week. I don't keep the cards and envelopes together because I do, but then I don't make myself like use them together. You know what I mean? Like I will use them usually separate. And, just when I need an envelope, I'll grab an envelope. When I need a card, I'll grab a card. I don't make myself keep them together when I'm using them. So I'm just opening these. See, yeah, these all open. So I wanted to use an envelope like I had them right here from Thrifty Thursday, and I wanted to use one, and they were a little bit too wide this way. And see, here's the opening. So I just cut it here to make it, because I experimented where I wanted to maybe put it in like this, and then I felt like, oh, I don't feel like whoever gets these journals is going to have enough room to get something comfortably in and out of here. So I decided to make it a little flip out. So I will attach it to a page, and I'm not going to attach it today, but I cut it down here and then re-glued the bottom, so it looks like it was never cut. You can't really even tell it was cut on the bottom, but it was, so I could make it more, less wide this way. And so I'm going to attach it to a page like this, and it'll fit perfectly now in this one of these journals, and it won't be too, too wide. And then I thought, I was trying to think, actually I'm on my way to work. I did this, what did I say, Thursday night? On my way to work Friday, I was thinking about this envelope a tiny bit, not the whole time I was driving, and I thought, well, if I attach that, like I usually do, I do this all the time, right? Attach an envelope so it's a flip out this way, and there you go. You can get it in an envelope easier that way, usually. But I was wondering, and I'd have to cut another one down, if I could make, let's see, so this would be glued here. You would flip it out, and then what about, could I make a double flip out? So I would attach another envelope here. Now I'll have to cut this down too, but so another envelope would be like that, and then it might, this is a small journal. I can't put, I can put more. I'm going to put more pages in here, but I'm just saying I can't put like a lot, there is a limit here. So, but I wanted to see how this would be because I hadn't tried it yet, and I'm trying it right now. So it would flip out like that. So maybe turn it around this way. Put the flap this way. After I cut it down, it'll fit in there. So just pretend like this is the glued on envelope, so it'd flip out this way and then flip out again, and you'd have two envelopes. I don't know, I just thought it would be something different. So I think I'm going to try it right now. So let's make this one here the same as this one, the same width this way. So I'm going to use this as my template now and cut this one down. See, it's just a little bit that I had to cut off like that. So use this as my template. I think you can see okay. And then I'm going to cut that little piece off. All right, about right there. And then I'm going to glue it back together. And I had another idea too about envelopes. I'm going to try that in a second. The other one's simple too. So I got to make sure I glue this in the right way now. So I said I was going to do this. Okay. Yeah, so first of all, I got to glue the bottom of this one though. So I just, see, this is the one we just cut apart. Here's the flap. Here's the bottom. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue and glue the bottom back together because I want it to function like an envelope where you go into the top flap there. So I just put a little bit of glue right down here on this bottom, inside this bottom cut. And you know art glitter glue. If you don't know art glitter glue, it has a very thin nozzle so you can get a tiny, you know, the thinnest of a bead of glue so you don't have too much glue going up into your envelope. And so there we go. Now that is glued back together. It's got to dry, but it is glued back together. So okay, here's our flip out. Let's see, here's the opening on this one. And then the next one would be, I think I said, yeah, it's got to go this way and glue the flap onto that envelope, and this one will flip out again, so you'll have two envelopes. I don't know. It's just something different, you know, how we think of these things. I don't know. I'm sure, you know, it's like nothing is new. You think you thought of something and you didn't. Someone did it 5 years ago or yesterday or whenever, you know what I mean? And you just haven't seen it yet. So that's usually what I find. I was like, I found that before. Like, if I thought I thought of something and I find a video like, oh, someone did that 15 years ago. So, okay. Let's see. Now I want to get this even. Let me get it even here. And, yeah, it wants to just grab on there. Okay. I want it even here and even here. And in the right spot. Okay, you only have a second to move it around, really. Not even that. Okay, I think I got it. Okay, so that would be like that. All right, so there we go. And you gotta be careful. Don't glue it together. Like when you fold it and leave it, don't leave it until it dries, because you just glue that together. Okay, you know we've all done it. Glue things together that we don't want glued together. Okay, so if you like that. Yeah, that's kind of cool, right? Something different, I thought. Fold out and fold out. Two envelopes. Okay, so I'm not ready to glue this down to a page yet because I want to glue it to a stronger page. I'm going to put, more, of course, more pages in here, and then I'll decide what page I want this on. So, but I have it ready, and I'm going to make some for. I'll probably make one of these. I have lots of envelopes, so I will make one of these for each journal. And the other thing was I wanted to do this. I wanted to take another envelope and let's see. So I wanted to do what I was originally saying, like put it in here as a page like this. So I need my envelope to, yeah. See, I was thinking about it, and I was thinking, you know what? So what I think I would do, I'm not sure, because I'm thinking put it in here as a page, and then don't worry about getting something out of here. Cut it open up here on this end, and then you can get into it and make it like a little. You know, you have it in there as a page, cut it open here at the end, at this bottom part, and then make that into an opening, whatever, do a little thumb hole, whatever you want to do, and have it that way. But then you have to be careful because you have your opening here, and you don't want everything to come out the other end. So I haven't worked that out yet, because at this point things would come out the other end on this particular envelope because it has an opening that goes down like that. So some envelopes go down and have a little something like that, and some envelopes go straight across. So I'm going to experiment with that. So I've got that one ready. I'm going to experiment with that other one as a page and cutting it open on the bottom and see if I can use some envelopes that way, because I do use envelopes, but not enough. I have so many envelopes in my stash here. So I pulled out some things I could use as pages. So let's see. I haven't put any pages in the other ones yet, so let's experiment with this one. I'll show you what I have pulled out here. I just pulled everything out that I had pulled out for my recipe cookbook journal I just finished. Anything that was like, that could be a page, I pulled it out and put it right here next to me. And so let's see, this is a page from a Reader's Digest, and I had a Reader's Digest, or maybe a few I went through and pulled out all the pages that I could find in them, and advertisements like this, buckwheats, and this one's coffee rich on this side, and I pulled out all the pages kind of like that. Like there's even some recipes right here, or right here, and I pulled out those, anything that had to do with like food like that, or recipes, or advertisements for food, or anything like that. So that's what this is, and it's like the perfect size for these journals. I can fold it in half this way. Well, that's kind of thin. Let me see if I fold it in half this way, how it will be. All right, so yeah, it would have to be that way because otherwise it will be too thin, I think. I do have one thin page in here that I made with a pocket from the notebook paper from that. I didn't realize I kept some. I didn't mean to. I meant to send it all along. I did send a big bundle along with that journal when it went to its new owner. But I have a few here that I managed to get separated from that notebook or binder. So I made a page out of this one, and this is a little pocket here, and I just put it in like this, so it is a little bit of a thin page. And then here's one that I put on its side, and it's the same thing. And just did some flip outs. And these little pages right here are from this recipe book, and they came out in a way that they are. Let me see if I can get this open, because I glued this together. I glued them together because they came out separately. It's not in signatures. So I glued 2 pages together by just overlapping them a tiny bit and glued them back together. So they were together. Again, back together. Or together. They never were together. They were separate. And then I put glued a piece of washi tape here. And I'm just flattening it out now because it's so very thick and sturdy here that it doesn't want to even bend. So, and then let me cut out this. There's a little piece of washi tape sticking over the top. So today is Saturday, and I'm just kind of showing you and doing a little work on these journals. And so it's kind of like, I was thinking it's a work in progress Saturday. Whip Saturday, work in progress. I don't know if you've ever used that in anything, whip, but I have seen that. Where did I used to use that? I don't know if it was with the junk journals or what, but I thought I might, if I do this on a Saturday, I thought I might call it #Whip Saturday or Saturday Whip, something like that. So you might see that, or you might have seen that in my title today. I might put that in my title, #Whip Saturday. And then I'm not saying it's an open collab or at all. I'm just saying if you want to join in with me and do a Whip Saturday or Saturday Whip, whatever I decide to call it, and use the hashtag, that would be fine. And that would be fun so that I know you're, joining in with me and crafting with me. So Saturday Whip, #Saturday Whip, I'm going to call it. And you can put that in your title if you want, and then I'll know you're joining with me in this non-collab. I'm not calling it a collab yet. It could develop into a collab. If a lot of people join in, I will make it a collab. How about if I put it like that? But I'm not saying, I'm not announcing a new collab. I'm just saying if it develops into a collab, that will be what it will do, right? Okay, so that looks cute. All right. Now, let's see. I have some of these pages here that are from these are from, oh, you know what? I think these, well, there's some from some type of journal, like a, commercial journal, little cutting boards. And it's recipe related. They're white like this. See, look, there's a little graphics and stuff on here. When rolling out sugar cookies, roll out on powdered sugar. Wow, that's a good idea. And so, yeah, these are little pages from some type of recipe book. And they have this little border on it too, and all these little cute little graphics. So I wanted to use some of these. And I have enough, at least for one for each journal. But again, when I fold it in half, it's going to be quite thin. So I have to decide how I want to use these. They would be fine. I just don't want a bunch of short pages. You know what I mean? I need to get some long pages in here too. So I already have 1, 2 short pages, and then these type of short pages, and then I have this one that's short this way. So I need some regular size. So let me look through my papers and see what else. I'll show you what else I have here. I have some wallpaper, but again, that would be either used as in a tag or a pocket or as a page. But again, if it was a page, it would be a short page. So I'm looking for papers I can use as regular size pages. So, and I need to move all this here because these are all, oh, here's something. This is some kind of a little cookbook or a booklet, the Bake Book. So these are in signatures, except it's very old. See, this is coming apart here. That one I would have to put back together. This one's together. So I could use this. I think it's strong enough, see? I think it's strong enough to use. So let's put this in here. Oh, but it's not. Well, it's almost, yeah, it's almost long enough. Okay. And then again, I could fold it in. This would be my last flip out though. I don't want to, or I could use this as, well, you know what, the notebook paper, I could glue those down as tuck spots, side tucks, and use this one as a flip out so I don't, the only reason I wouldn't go ahead and glue these down is because they have all this fun information on here from a very old little cookbooklet. So let's do that. And they're folding fine. They're not cracking or anything. And so let's see if I can actually do this straight here. Okay. Just a second. It's not straight. So what are y'all doing today? Got my family coming over, and I'm going to make a recipe that I heard on Coffee Paper Scissors. She described a enchilada casserole that she made, and I make enchiladas all the time. Not all the time, but that is one of my things that my kids like, enchiladas. I usually make them with ground beef or whatever, and like that. I do make some with, especially if I have my brother over who is a vegetarian, I'll make them with pinto beans instead of ground beef. So that is a vegetarian option. But today we don't have any vegetarians, and so I'm going to make them with ground beef and make it in a casserole form instead of rolling them up. And that's what she did, and it sounded like, wow, that is an excellent idea. I'm going to try that. I think my kids will love it. So I'm going to make that today. So I have to run. I usually do go grocery shopping on Saturday morning anyway. So I tried to go yesterday, but the Walmart near my work that I go to, I went on my lunch break to try to get the ingredients. And I just cut off that little flap. This is a paper bag I wanted to try to put in here. Yeah, so I tried to go near my work and get it done yesterday, so I wouldn't have to go grocery shopping today. And they didn't have any enchilada sauce. I'm like, what in the world? Because I always see it there in the that section. you know, the Mexican, I'm going to call it the Mexican section where they have all the Mexican food. And it wasn't, I'm going to cut off this side too, so I have an opening on both ends. You know, don't want to waste that space. And none, not one, big, little, nothing, no enchilada sauce. I was like, what in the going on here? But it wasn't like the shelf was empty or anything. It just wasn't there. So I hope they have, I mean, they have it here. I don't know if maybe somebody came in and bought it all. You know, a Mexican restaurant might have come in and bought it all. That could happen. There's a lot of Mexican restaurants here in North Carolina. So that could have happened. But we'll see. I'll go to my Walmart here in my town and see what they have today. And hopefully they will have some enchilada sauce. Okay, so that I put in a paper bag now. I've got the envelopes. I got a paper bag. And see what let me see what else I have here real quick before I run out of time. So here's some pages from an old, very old, like this was, I think this book was an antique cookbook, pretty much. And I used the cover probably a year or two ago. I don't remember when it was. But it was beautiful. I mean, it was a grungy old cookbook, but it was beautiful at the same time. And it sold, you know, way back then. But this is a couple of pages from it. And these would actually pretty much be this perfect size. Let me see how they fold though, because like I said, I think this was, if I remember right, this was an antique. Okay, yeah, these are nice pages. Look, they didn't crack at all. And they're too long. So this one has, see, look at that, it has a stain up there. So I need to either cut it down, or I don't think I want to make a pocket because I just don't think, if I cut off anything, maybe I would cut off that top part where the stain is. Let's do that. I'm going to cut it right here, about right there. And it'll pretty much be exactly the right size. And it pretty much will cut off that stain. But yeah, that turned out really beautiful. I love old grungy covers that, you know, they are grungy from age and, you know, like that, just from age really. And, you know, kind of worn, but not, you know, like, it didn't have food splattered all over it or anything like that. It was just, you know, worn from age type of thing. Okay, so here's another perfect size antique, if I remember right, page, and that fits in there nicely. Okay, so I have, here's another page from that book, so I won't do that right now, but this one was from that book, and it has a pin holding, this is from the original book. It has an old rusty straight pin right there holding these two pages together. This is a handwritten recipe, and then there's a page from the book. This is another page from the book, some more paper bags. And then I have these pages right here are from, these are from a Ideals magazine. An Ideals magazine. I have a bunch of those here. These are all from Ideals magazine, so I need to cut these down. This is from another magazine here. This is from another magazine, and these are from Ideals. And then I have some more other cookbooks here, and these could be good too. These are good size. I will have to cut them down. So let me see. I think let's cut down. So you probably want to know, like, how am I going to cut this down? It's so big. So I'm not going to look at this picture because otherwise I won't want to cut it. It's so beautiful, right? I'm going to look at this side and cut off the white edges and see where I end up, because it has to be cut way down. And I have plenty more Ideals magazine, so I can get out more pages. But I want to see if I just cut off these white sides, how they'll end up. And then let's fold it in half and see how wide they are. See, this is going to be perfect. And look at the picture. See, I figured this would happen. Like if you cut off the sides like that and don't look at the picture, it still looks beautiful, doesn't it? And you don't even know you cut off anything really. So then if we fold it in half, I think it's going to be perfect. I don't want to make the crease yet. I want to test it real quick and see if it is. Of course, I can always cut off more. Okay, I think it's going to be good. So these, now I know, these will be good for, let's see the other little books here. Let's see how they are in this. I might not have to cut quite, well, yeah, I probably wouldn't cut off quite as much white of the white for these. I can leave them a little whiter for those, but for this one, cutting off both the white sides there is going to be perfect. And then I'm going to cut off the bottom here. I think I'll leave the top and cut off the bottom. I already have that one pocket. See, the more pockets and things I make, the thicker it's going to be, and the less, like, the pocket's almost taking up, you know, it's another layer, so I could use it. I could use that space that pocket would take up, kind of like, if you think about it, like it's taking up a whole page's worth of space, you know, because you're folding it in half and you're doubling its space, kind of. So there, see, isn't that cute? It's just a cute little page now, and a beautiful little page with the graphics and the pictures and the words and everything. So, and that could even be a starting page. It's so pretty. So there, we are developing our first little one. Yeah, I didn't really plan on, like, I'm going to do this one first and this one second, or I'm going to do it all at the same time. I didn't plan that. I just do whatever I feel like doing. So I guess I felt like working on this one first. It just happens, right? For me anyway, that's what happens. I just go with whatever I want to do. So yeah, pretty cute. I like it. So I hope you will continue staying with me on this and on my new hashtag Whip Saturdays. And I think I'm going to probably work on this again maybe on Monday. So if you want to see more of these little journals developing, come back on Monday. Tomorrow on Sunday, I have my next organization video for you. So come back and see that. And I will see you all in my next video. I hope you have a great Saturday. Wish me luck on my enchilada casserole. I'm sure it'll be great. Anyway, if I can find enchilada sauce anyway. So I'll see you then. Have a great day and happy crafting.